Hello and welcome to the Evolve Pipedrive podcast, where we talk all things Pipedrive, sales, apps, and Pipedrive marketplace. My name is Bignell. I'm the sales director here at Evolve, and today it's my great pleasure to be joined by Kjellberg, the customer success director at DearLucy. Hans today is going to walk us through DearLucy platform and how it integrates with Pipedrive. Over to you.
Thanks a lot, Bruce. So we see here I'm at signup.dearlucy.co. You can get access through your Pipedrive data through DearLucy signup or through, as mentioned, Pipedrive Marketplace as well. But we're giving this a go here. And I filled in my most basic information to start a free trial. We're going to connect Pipedrive. Should already be logged in. So it's all about making sure that we're in the right company and continue to the app. And let's see, here we go. The integration is now done. And all we need to do is to look at our live dashboards to get started with Pipedrive reporting inside DearLucy.
Nice.
This means data is still being fetched. Shouldn't take more than a minute or so to get all the data coming in. What happens is basically you're introduced to 3 dashboards immediately that look exactly like this, except that I've made them now into Pipedrive colors because it looks a bit nicer.
Nice.
Like I mentioned,
that's a point though. So you have customized these colors to your liking. So this could be okay, nice.
And this is what users can do also. It's a very quick kind of process, and you kind of can get it up and running in your own brand colors and these kind of things to customize it. And the brief explanation is, I think I mentioned earlier also, we typically see that the most successful implementations of insights reporting, sales reporting is based around use cases. So here we have 3 different dashboards. One is the weekly sales meeting. We have a sales one-on-one, and then one use case for the management and board to look at. And they contain different types of metrics, not too complicated, pretty standardized at this point. But this is what the users get started with DearLucy to kind of give them inspiration and kind of see what they like to do. So we start with the kind of weekly sales meeting. It kind of has the logic that it starts by what's been added to the pipeline and what's expected to close coming up. So here we have opportunities and deals being added to the pipeline and the weighted pipeline value and the different value by stages and these kind of things, and then rolling into 1 by week different types of actual results metrics, and then a forecast tile also where you're going to end up at the month. All of these things that you're looking at can always, so if we want to look at added to pipeline by month, I need to sign in again. I haven't used this for, so it's just been waiting, right? Yeah, so if we click here, you can always drill down into the details. And these things can be customized to what kind of information would you like to see here. But here's the basic deal data, and you can fill on with different columns and these kind of things. And obviously export, filter, and sort by filter and all of these kind of things that you'd like. But not only that, you can always click into a trend chart also. So here we have demo data, not a lot in there, but seeing what's been added over time also from an individual tile that only looks like this, for example.
Yeah.
So we have the drill downs. We can obviously, now there's not a lot of people in this test environment. We have DearLucy as a salesperson. Let's see if I have a few deals in there, but haven't been very active in filtering that, whereas our other user has been a lot more active. So this is kind of meant as a starting point for any kind of new customer of ours to get like, hey, what are the key things we discussed during the weekly sales meetings I want to keep track of? And when doing that also, do they have enough information here to click in? What are the deals that we're hoping to win by the end of the month or end of forecast, and discussing those kind of deals. Now, that being said, let's say that you're a customer and, hey, a lot of this is kind of superfluous or doesn't match our needs. So they're just going to go in here, click the pen, and let's say they want to not build a new dashboard, but rather edit this one. So we're going to remove sales by person and maybe 1 by week. and maybe they just want another type of chart. So we're just going to go and add a tile. And what they're missing in this case is not by week. They want to know what's been won by month, right? And you enter this gallery, which you can filter by activities or timelines. But in this case, we just want to see won by month or quarter, could be. We just click the little plus here and drag and drop, make it bigger, and press save here. And with that being said, we've added a new kind of tile. So no need to filter or anything. You just click and we have a big new tile coming in here as well. Nice. Could be the same things for filter. Now we have a person filter. You might want to filter by pipeline, by lead source, by these kind of things. Very easy to add also, just in the position we were. So you can always start by editing the dashboard you're in, or you can then, not sure if we're going to go through that, but build your own new dashboard, and the same way adding the tiles that are interesting for that use case or that particular dashboard you're building. One of the key things that you see differentiates DearLucy dashboards versus other dashboards are you're working on a set kind of real estate in DearLucy. So you see there's no scrolling down from this, and good and bad from this. Some customers would like to add more. The solution for that is just to build more dashboards. But we believe every dashboard shouldn't have to, if you have over 20 metrics in one dashboard, then that dashboard is not telling you a story and it's not bringing you the right type of insights. So managing real estate is also a way to prioritize what are the most important sales metrics to look at.
Yeah.
Some other examples then, we have a sales one-on-one. So this could be used very much to, if we choose one person, we have a little bit different types of insights. So number of open cases, some are a bit similar in this case also, but it allows you also to do interesting things like in terms of target settings. So let's say they have a target for DearLucy at the end of the month. So we can click this little target icon here and say that now it's November. So let's say we have a target for, let's see if this number makes sense, 30,000, well over that target. So it turns green and immediately tells you that something's been good.
Nice.
But if we make it more complex, we can say we have a target of 120,000 and logic prevails, it turns red. But this gets more complicated, or you can do more exciting stuff with it. So let's add a target also for an individual salesperson. To make it easy, I'm just going to make it 80,000. Not 800,000. And again,
800,000.
So yeah, that's going to be tough on for this company where we don't have a lot of data. So the overall target stays at 120, but if we now filter by person, we get 80,000, and that person is now performing well. But let's look at if the target would have been 200,000. We're not there yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it would turn red now automatically. Let's make it 150. So I'm sure that demo works. But we can click up on advanced options and tick here on track. So here DearLucy is actually extrapolating that while you're under your target, we're still only 30% into the month. So by the end of the period, you're actually on green light because you're very likely to meet the target at your current pace. So especially for quarterly end of year targets, you want to use that kind of on track measurement to see if you're on par to hit your target at the end of the period.
Yeah.
And just a little bit more where you can always, deviation from target or the percentage of target, very just clicks of buttons, and you can manage kind of hitting the targets here. Another interesting,
so you can have that across the team, a team target. You can have individual targets differed by month.
Lead source targets different by month, by quarter. So this kind of multi-dimensional target setting is something that a lot of clients see a lot of value in, because they might not have individual targets for month. There might be targets for a lot of different things. And then there's some kind of average deal size over the last 12 months versus average deal size of current open deals. Only there we have some insights. So by choosing, now we're looking at DearLucy, we can see that overall, the average deal size over the last 12 months is lower than the size of open deals. So that's telling the sales manager one out of two things. Either the deal sizes are getting bigger, they're attracting bigger deals, which is probably a good thing, or it's giving you a warning signal that your pipeline is inflated and the deals there are likely to be less valued once they close than they are in the pipeline. And being able to compare things like this on an individual salesperson really gives them a lot of insights on whether that person is doing great and following target, or whether needs more assistance going forward.
And that data can also help the delivery or resource team. So it helps with forecast if they're on track. If everyone's going to meet target, and as a business you've set your target at 20% over capacity, you then might need to look at hiring. So all these things can impact not just the sales department but the wider business as well if they're aligned.
Definitely. So for sure. We've actually done that kind of for a professional services company who they sell hours basically, and based on forecasts could project how many hours, or how many people they would need by the end of the quarter, by the end of the year, to actually, if all goes through, they need to hire several months in advance basically. So another example is management and board. You can see played around a bit with the colors here, but a little bit different types of metrics. Here we bring in our forecasts and these kind of things as well. So these tend to be a bit more overarching kind of metrics, not so detailed perhaps, using different filters for these kind of situations and use cases. Just quickly then, I won't go through everything you can do in the system. I think that's too much. You can click it. But the real value, I think, is in terms of, I set up these kind of recurring revenue reports. So here we have like 3 different ways to handle recurring revenue, and Pipedrive handles, we're dealing with in 3 different ways. So we have Pipedrive subscriptions if a client is using that. So that allows you to, put in the deal value on how much is being billed every quarter or every month, depending on it, and how that adds up over the year, either cumulatively or month by month. So we see here we have 1 deal out of these 3 is being billed every quarter at 8,000, where we have 2 other deals then running with a combined value of 4,000 every month, and then some open deals that might come into effect. So that's kind of basic straight data out of HubSpot subscriptions, depending on how you put it in. But you could do it differently. So in this monthly recurring revenue by month, the difference in what we're seeing here is basically that the quarterly values are distributed across the 3 months now, right? So rather than having peaks on every month, it brings everything to a monthly recurring revenue level, and kind of shows it a bit differently, what's been lost, contracts ending, and these kind of things as well. And last but not least, the kind of Pipedrive payments, where you can have different amount installments for different periods, and it's a bit more customizable solution then. And some of the key,
when you actually recognize the revenue, right? So would that be driven by custom fields within Pipedrive? How are you, or invoice triggered? Like how are you capturing that?
This is actually coming directly from Pipedrive revenue, and under there you have the subscriptions or payments option. So this is under the payments option. But what we do for a lot of clients is then mixing that with, let's say they are not using payments for deals in their forecast or in the pipeline. So what we do in DearLucy, then we can bring it in and using expected close dates instead, and either put the full value on the expected close date month, or distribute that, or however they'd like to do it. This is where DearLucy can really customize to bring them the most types of insights there. So a few examples on there, how we help. And again, it's about target setting, the forecast. Here we only have a few smaller tiles, but most of our clients are then interesting. What's our MRR going to be by the end of the year, or by the end of the quarter? Are we growing or are we not? So in a nutshell, this is what the product looks like. as mentioned. You can click. Most of it is already there. The things that aren't there, we'd be happy to help our customers with. But really, a lot of it is being able to. You can add these custom filters yourself also. So just pressing this add custom filter. We just choose here, we have Pipedrive, and this allows us then to look through all the custom fields in that Pipedrive account, and we can add that as a filter to be used on whether it's deal source or whatever it might be.
Yeah, very nice. Great. Hans, is there anything else, or should we tell people to get their own demo after this?
I think the best way for anyone to try it out is really to try it out, play around with the tool. You can do so much more, but I'd be spending another 2 hours going through all the tips and tricks. So I think the key thing is really around forecasting, target setting, and just getting started within a couple of minutes rather than spending days on your sales reporting.
Yeah, no, I love it, and I think we will have a link in the description below for you to try this out yourself. I think we've got 10 days for you to try that. Free trial will be 10 days, and it pulls your data from Pipedrive ready-made, right? So you can just visualize what these reports, extra reports, might look like for your business. I think it's super powerful if you want to get more for your 2023 Pipedrive reports. So, Hans, once again, thank you very much. And speak soon.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.